And just like that, we are live, episode number 7 of the Hope Show, and we have a brand new face here. Well, he's not. He's new to this channel. Well, he isn't. He isn't. He's not really. I'm gonna shut up now. Michael, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem at all. Well, I'm looking forward to our conversation tomorrow on episode 42 of Visions, I believe. So we're going to discuss the past, the present, the future, your collecting journey. So if anyone's out there and want to watch that, it'll be tomorrow at, I think we decided on 10 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Does that sound about right?
That sounds right. Yeah.
And then 2 p.m. if you're on the West Coast. Would that be right? Yeah, Pacific
Yep,
Standard
that's right.
Time.
Hello, Dan.
So, Mike,
Hello, mate. How are you?
Doing well,
Sorry,
thank
go
you.
on.
Good.
Have you met each other before? Or did you?
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
Mike
good.
is popping up on all the live streams later, or lately. He's been streaming with Mr. Mom's Collectibles. He's a channel member as well, and really looking forward to chatting today and tomorrow. So, how's your day going, Mike?
It's going great. I still have a lot of paint on my hands. You and I were chatting earlier. I was just out
Yeah.
on the deck doing
Good
some
stuff.
stuff. Yeah. Just trying to work on maybe a diorama. We'll see.
Ah, good stuff.
see
Good
if
stuff.
it
So
happens.
you're painting up 1/6 scale Hasbros to make them look more like the Geonosis, yeah?
Yeah, that's what
Good
I'm
stuff.
doing. So far, it's coming out all right. We'll see.
I saw the pictures you sent me already. It looks pretty good. Like, do you have like a background in art or creativity or painting, or just winging
Not
it?
at all. When I was a kid, I used to paint the Warhammer figures and
Gotcha.
did some what were they called? The Star Wars that role playing the minis. Can't
All
remember,
right.
but I painted a bunch of them a few years ago. Really enjoyed it. So I said,
Mm-hmm.
"What the heck?" I bought an airbrush and I'm just giving it a
Good
shot.
stuff. Good stuff. Yeah.
Very total
They look pretty
amateur.
good anyway. Yeah, they
Thank
look
you.
pretty good. Look better than I could do anyway. I could barely stay inside the lines when I was a kid.
Star Wars
Um,
Legion. That's what it was.
all right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So, Dan, how's your day been?
Good, man. It's like we were talking again. It's hot over here. I'm down in Southampton, so it's quite the southern part of the UK, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it's warm and muggy. But it's been good, yeah. Just
Yeah. Do you
getting
know
on
what,
with
when
everything.
we say muggy, Mike, do you know what we mean when we say muggy? Is that like
Yeah,
a,
we
is that
say it
like,
here. We say.
oh, you do?
Yep.
I always felt that was like a UK thing or an
Yeah.
Ireland thing. Like, but yeah, it's pretty trapped over here as well. Like, but look, lads, thanks very much for being here. We're just going to address some of the chat and then outline what we're going to be chatting about, and we'll get stuck in. So, thanks very much to everyone, panelists and people also that are in the chat. Just shout out to some people here. We got Mugwump odds on being the eternal optimists. I am even also. Yeah, we were bang on time today. Payden 23. Hello everyone. Yeah, good stuff. Thanks very much for being here. 2 channel members there, and another one. We got Mark Mitchell. Great to see you. Talia all the way from Germany. We got Brandon Sal, the first man to ever drop a super chat on this channel. I will never forget that. It was what am I hearing there? Is that all right? So I thought I heard something in the background. Sorry.
I apologize. That's my baby. Sometimes.
Oh no, you're
No.
all right. You're all right.
that's allowed, man. That's allowed.
His gamma
That's okay.
radiation hulks him out every now and then. So
Yeah.
I gotta.
Is it how old are they?
He is 5.5 months.
Ah,
Oh, wow.
good stuff.
Yeah.
Man.
Hey, honey, real quick, because you guys might get a kick out of this. Sorry, this is totally intrusive.
No,
but
you're all right. You're all right.
No, man. It's
His
good.
name's Logan, and he's been working on his physique, so he's all
Oh
right.
wow, look at him. Lovely.
That's brilliant. Well, you picked a bloody good name, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. For a man who has a 5.5-month-old, you look fresh in the face. Are you getting a bit of sleep?
I'm
Or none.
exhausted. I'm exhausted.
You're
Thank
you're
you. I'll take
definitely
the compliment.
yeah. You're selling it well, man. You're doing well.
Thanks, man.
Tyria loving the intro. We got William Owens. Hello everyone, channel member. Thanks very much for being here, William. We are the pop culture living room Costa, the man behind the Costa cases. How are you doing, man? Great that you're here. Ryan Smith, definitely a man who's interested in that DC love that Inart we're showing today. This is this Mike with the special last name? Yeah, he is. He's the one catching everyone out left, right, and center. We got X-Man Supreme, who's excited to see Mike. You're a popular man, Mike. We got the late bloomer Mike Ellis for Legend. Good stuff. Mogram saying very, very cute. Yeah, absolutely, definitely. The kid's been working on the physique already. And we got X-Man Supreme saying both. And then 87 in Florida with 78% humidity. Scary times. Phil, how you doing? and really quickly going to outline what we're going to be talking about. Make sure I actually have this done right. Okay, shout out really quickly to channel members. For the troopers, we got Stephen Rinks, we got Mike L, who's in the building, we got Payden23, Mug Wump, and also in the building, Andre, Chuli, Bendu Windu, Collector, Joey, Ryan Smith in the building as well. And then we got some commanders here. We got Alan, the 6-scale gatherer. He should have been with us tonight, but unfortunately couldn't join us. He might be with us next week. X-Man Supreme was in the building. We got 12-inch Moose Stream. I'm sure he'll show up at some stage. Philip the Fool, Keith the 6-scale Padawan, Mark Mitchell, who's in the building, William Olds, who's in the building, Brandon Sadat, who's in the building, Empire Strikes Back again, Phil, who's also in the building, Quick Collecting Weekly, they're a big deal, people know them, and Boba Fettuccini. I thought I saw Boba Fettuccini there, maybe I'm wrong. Right, so what we're going to get talking about, we're going to get straight into it, right? So I'm just going to flick through these really quickly. I want to get stuck into it. We're going to be talking about today. Just a few new videos there. Review of the DX13, the DX23, my thoughts on Loki, Flash, and the Inart Superman, which you're probably going to hear today from myself and my panelists here as well. New streams, we got the Hope Show. All these episodes are now live on the channel. You're watching this one right now. Visions with Joey went up last week, and tomorrow we got Visions with this man here with the fantastic calves in his user picture, I have to say. So looking forward to that. Okay, today we're going to be talking briefly about the TVA Loki that's been announced, or should I say released. Quick look at some comments on the channel for the last for the last week. Thoughts on that Inart BVS Superman tease, and then finally the main topic of this live stream is about wish lists, separating the figures we want from the ones we need. Because I'm going to say it straight out, I'm struggling, man. I'm struggling. You know, space, time, money. And definitely not a collector who needs everything or wants everything, but I'm very realistic. I cannot afford everything. So I need to, tough decisions are going to be made, and we're going to look at how we navigate that. All right, I've done enough talking, so I'm going to throw one of you boys in the deep end here. I want to know, what are your thoughts on this guy? Mike, do you want to take it away there? Any thoughts on this? Any interest? Positive, negative?
On the Loki?
Actually, 1 second. There it is. Sorry. Yeah, on the Loki, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I always separate my opinion on the figure, the quality of the figure and all that versus, would I buy him or not? And in this case, he has no place in my collection, but I think he looks really great. A couple of reasons why I wouldn't pick him up is the easiest one is I'm not an Avengers collector or not the Marvel television collector either, so it's a pretty easy pass for me, but I think he does look really excellent.
Good stuff. Yeah, short and sweet. So you think it looks good, but it's just not in your wheelhouse, not something that you'd be willing to delve into.
Mm-hmm. And to be honest with you, this is really the first time I'm getting a close look at him, and I stand by what I said. I think he looks really good.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Yeah, man, and that actually kind of feeds into what we're going to be talking about later on, because I rule out entire lines. Like, for example, Clone Wars. You mean I'm watching it now? I'm sure it's fantastic. Ahsoka's story arc, I've been told from a lot of people I respect and I would consider have very, very good taste to say the story arc is one of the best of any story arc in any Starfighter, any Star Wars character. So I'm looking forward to finishing that. But even if I absolutely love it, I've made a decision. I'm ruling out all the animated Clone Wars just to survive in the game more than anything. But we'll kind of backtrack around. You kind of seem like you're very certain on what you like and what you don't like, which is good, and we'll definitely revisit that later on. What do you think, Dan?
I'm exactly the same as Mike, to be honest. I'm not a Marvel collector at the moment. It's mostly Star Wars and bits and bobs. We've talked about it before, but yeah, I think this looks great. I think it's definitely, for me, the best Loki head sculpt that we've seen. I think they've nailed it. It's got to be 95% on, I think, in my opinion. It looks great. I mean, it's just a shame that, I like the show. The show was fun and it was good, but what he's wearing is not, your Loki that the Marvel, the Avengers, the Lost World, the green and the hat and the helmet and all that would have been great with this head sculpt, I think. But it's the IP that, goes with the show. So hopefully season 2 might be a bit different, but I think it's a great figure. I think, will it be a peg warmer? I don't know.
It's, I actually thought it wasn't waitlisted on Sideshow yet, but when I checked it out, because I always get the, because according to my data on my channel, the vast majority of people who watch me are from the States, so that's why I do mention prices in dollars, and sometimes I'll do euro, but mostly it's dollars, just to, that's just the simplest way to do. And I will reference Sideshow because a lot of people, they buy Sideshow, they don't want to go to Hong Kong, or maybe the shipping is considerably cheaper because they're based in States, completely understandable. But I'll always check like when it's coming out, and if it is out, like how much it is and how many versions and stuff. And I noticed that it is on actually waitlist. I didn't think it would have been, but yeah, it seems like a popular one now. But yeah,
I've seen some of the sites already today selling him for reasonably cheap, if you know what I mean. Like in our world, reasonably cheap, but I've seen him as cheap as 230, 240 for a first release day. Is quite there's not a lot to him, obviously, anyway, but I mean, perhaps a few 6 months to a year ago, that would have been $280, $300 £300 figure. You know what I mean? I think it's where we are at the moment, I think.
Like in short, if I was to summarize this, like this is one I have no interest in. The Loki I have above here, it's the Endgame, the kind of more traditional look for, as he appeared in Avengers. Obviously got the Endgame version. This sculpt here blows that one out of the water. I mean, with the mask on, the helmet on, it looks good, but this one I'm looking on screen, very, very close to the prototype. Very, very impressive head sculpt. I think the tailoring's on point with the shirt and the little the shirt and the pants. I think maybe the jacket's a little bit big. It's not as kind of form-fitting around the shoulder area. I can show you what I mean. Like it looks good in some shots.
It's a great figure, man. Shots, it really is. Yeah,
it just looks a bit here. It just if you compare this to the prototype, it looks like it's a bit too much shoulder here. He looks like he's on the roids, man. But like that's a nitpick. I think it's a fantastic looking figure, but like Mike there, and I'm ruling out certain lines. I've never bought anything from a Disney Plus show because I personally haven't gone back and rewatched them. So the quality really wasn't there for me. So I don't own any figures, and I'm not on pre-order from any Disney Plus shows because I haven't gone back. I can rewatch them. So yeah, it's a easy pass for me. However, I just think it looks bloody good, man. Good tailoring, good head sculpt.
Strong Marvel release for people that want it.
Yeah. I think that's a fair enough statement. I was going to address some of the chat. Did you have anything to add there, Dan? Are you cool with that? Like I like the way you got straight to the point. I respect that. Like, but if there's anything you want to add, or you just jump right in.
No, I think Mike said it. We're on the same page. I say even yourself as well. I think this is a very niche Marvel release. I know it's Loki, but I think with the outfit and everything, I think it's only going to be for hardcore sort of Marvel. If you collect the Endgame line or the top characters, you've already got a Loki, I can imagine. So unless you want to get this or pick up the head sculpt on eBay and perhaps put it on without the helmet, obviously, but put it on, a Dark World, a Ragnarok one or something, just to see what it looked like. It would look great. It'd be interesting to see. It'd be interesting if Justin does it, because he obviously does a lot when he'll get this in. He'll no doubt review it. I like where he puts them on the older figures to see if it works, and that would be really interesting.
And it's only when you start recording and editing reviews yourself you realize, man, that takes a lot of time. Like, I just don't do articulation on my videos because it's like, it's so selfish. It's a part of the reviews I just fast forward through, like, because I'm not the biggest dynamic poser. So I'm like, I kind of make the reviews that I would like to see myself, if that makes sense.
I'm the same. I'm the same. I don't do all the poses, and it's just more. Mine's just like, there you go. This is what I like. Go in and out and have my. There's being honest, there's a lot more better reviewers out there than that I can do that have been doing it a long time. So I'd rather do it my quick 5-minute thoughts on it, and then
play to your strengths.
Yeah,
exactly.
The last thing I just wanted to say about this Loki is, it is a shame that I'm not interested in him as a character or figure, because the tailoring, I'm such a sucker for really good tailoring.
Same.
And frankly, that's one thing that kept me away from Hot Toys, say maybe 10 years ago. I felt like, the criticism always was, oh, they're just dolls or something like that. But when you see this, that's not a doll. No. Do you know what I mean? It's, somebody could say whatever they want. They come over your house, they look at this and they say, I get it.
Yeah.
There's a stormtrooper, which I love, but it's it's plastic. When you see this,
Yeah.
you really can see the craftsmanship, and I think they've come so far. And this figure's a testament.
I think, Mike. Do you remember when who's the guy from Avengers that got killed in Avengers? You know, in the suit. Oh, I can't remember his name.
Phil Coulson.
Coulson. Do you remember they brought Coulson out? That was when I think they started to get the tailoring. It's starting to come together, because if you look at the real early ones, they were a little bit, you know,
Or you see
bulky
some suit jackets that were just like
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Terminator, when they got the Terminator, you know, the DX13 and the Joker, like Kato did the Joker DX. What was the DX11? That's it, DX11. That's when I think about 8-9 years ago they just started to get it, if you know what I mean. And then, you know, but this is even better now.
And you can really see it. It's the body they chose. I mean, he's got kind of broad shoulders, but he's a thin guy, and everything just fits so perfectly on him. It's I'm kind of envious that I don't want this figure, because he would look great on the shelf.
No, absolutely. So I'm just going to address some chats there, if that is all right with you. So we got them going here. So okay, so we got X-Man Supreme is adamant. Again, channel member, thanks very much for the support, for being here. He said he has to get this guy. Focus, you still haven't finished watching Clone Wars. Yeah, I'm slow as a wet week getting through that. That's like not finishing the original trilogy. You've had 40 years to watch the original trilogy, dude. Unless you're like in your 20s, when that might be a bit excusable. Tragedy Tales, it's cool, but who really wants... Sorry, I want to adjust this, I can't see Mike. It's cool, but who really wants a man in a suit your display? Was tempted by Wenrudo. I get that, but Joao Breda always makes fun of me because, you know, I don't collect civilians. I don't want an accountant in my in my display. However, if Inart come out with that DX19 and Bruce Wayne 2-back, the Bale... that's the one I think I would make the exception on, like, you know. But in terms of like just regular civilians, I try to avoid them because they could be the first to get sold, to be honest, in my own opinion. So Sideshow waitlisted on this guy a while back. Mugwump saying Loki is the best when he's at his malevolent, self-serving worst. Fine figure for sure, but not an iteration in my collection. Absolutely. Oh, and look what we have here. I just want to make sure I've got this right. We do indeed. Okay, we got a super chat, and the super chat, is that anyone else's favorite song from the Star Wars universe? Or sorry, his favorite sound? It's very hard to pick a favorite sound from the Star Wars universe. Wouldn't that be fair to say? Like,
mine's a Carbon Chamber.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah, good one. Yeah.
But when that explosion hits, Shane, that's like...
Yeah, it's a pretty damn cool one. In fairness, like, you could probably talk all day. You probably have a live stream about your favorite sound effects from Star Wars. But so we got a £10 super chat from Mark Mitchell. Have a beer on me. You're not going to have to ask me twice. Cheers, Mark. Thank you. I do appreciate that. Cheers. I do appreciate that. And channel member as well, I believe. Thank you, sir. It's always humbling. I just if anyone told me like a year ago or whatever, going, yeah, you're going to have this YouTube channel where you get to talk about movies and pop culture and collecting with different collectors all over the world. And, oh yeah, people are going to, the odd time, give you tips. And I'm like, that's bullshit. Get out of town. It's very humbling. I do appreciate that, Mark. Thank you very much. And it will go back into the channel. I've said I'm trying to get a decent chair for streaming because I've spent a lot of time making content. And this chair no, it's not working for me. The Sideshow unboxing video has me worried about that tie. It just floats in the air, kind of like the Two-Face, I believe. Even the 2.0 Two-Face, the tie kind of stuck out a little. A bit of futzing, I believe, would be what you want to do with that one. Bearded nerdy oaf is just me, or does his chest look too low, as if he has moves? I heard people complaining about that on the for the prototype, and then some people are saying it's not as bad on the actual product, but I'm not too sure on that one. 1-6 shooter, good afternoon, fellow kids. Trevor, great to see you here. Thanks very much. And X-Man Supreme, I want my own TVA jacket. It is pretty cool. Gotta do that. Absolutely. Right, so I'm gonna just bring up. We're gonna shift gears. We will be talking about the Inart Superman boots before we go into the main part of this particular live stream. But I would like to just talk briefly about passing comments. So sometimes I just pop up some comments that are on the streams or on my, I noticed on my channel over the last week, whatever. This one came in today from David L. So Inart Joker supposed to ship in the next week or two. I'm open to another purchase if I'm happy with the sculpted hair Joker. So this comment was left on the video I did about the Inart Superman tease today. Do you think that's a legitimate statement to make? Anyone? Dan, Mike, what do you think on that statement? The guy has ordered the Inart Joker. He's waiting to see on that before they get any more of his money.
I think it will. It's the first figure Inart brought out, wasn't it? So, but with someone that's got the Inart Joker already, I was saying to you today, I've just pre-ordered the Batman Inart today. Actually, the sculpted hair, not the rooted. But yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with Inart. I think, and we're going to talk about it, but I'm really excited with the Superman tease today. I think it's going to open it up to a lot more people as well. I think it's always good to, once you've got your first, wait until you get it in hand and then sort of decide what you want to do. But it just depends on what the IP you want to go for. I mean, obviously you can still pre-order Lord of the Rings figures already. So I don't know. It's just good. And then also it's the money. They're not cheap. So, no. But I think it's really exciting at the moment. I think it's a good time, I think, to be a collector.
Yeah, and I think this is a very logical statement, to be honest. I'm actually more or less the same. I'm very tempted to put a pre-order down on the single rooted Battinson, but given that I've ordered the Hot Toys,
you've already ordered the Hot Toys one.
Okay, that ties into later on. There's a lot of figures. What I consider a wish list is figures that are out there. I know some people consider it like figures that we were speaking earlier on about this. Dan, that some people say wish list when they mean figures that haven't been made or announced yet, and I totally get that. When I say wish list, it's like stuff that I want that I haven't actually locked in and pre-ordered yet. It's not a reality yet because it hasn't actually been pre-ordered, or so like the Inart single rooted Robert Pattinson Batman, that's one that is on my wish list, and I'm like, do I need that when I'm getting the Hot Toys one? So they're the conversation decisions we're going to have to make. What do you think, Mike? Is this like logical thought, or is it like, would you be kind of going, no, you don't have to worry about them, the prototypes look great?
No, I think it's a logical thought. As far as which one to get, I think between Hot Toys and Inart, you also have to consider the accessories, the base. There's a number of things. You can save a little bit of money and get more accessories and maybe a base that you prefer with the Hot Toys, the Batman figure. So it's more than just the head sculpt, especially if you're getting the standard sculpted hair. But if you are going for the rooted hair, to me, that's the thing I'm most curious about, especially with like that Gandalf and even the Harry Potter. In their promo video, they said shorter hair was more difficult to work with than longer hair. So this is kind of a journey we're all on as collectors to see if they can really pull it off, and then to see if Hot Toys can actually pull it off.
It'd be interesting to see if they can pull off a beard, a short beard. I wonder if that, if they do that one day. I'd love to see that, where you've seen like Rick Grimes being done in customs before, where they bit that for me is the next step. Is we're going to see stubble and things like that being put in. That'd be really interesting.
And slowly but surely they're going to start introducing pulses. The figure comes with an actual pulse. Like that's when you've got the real deal.
He's breathing.
Just when Mike said there, he mentioned, like literally as soon as he was talking, I was thinking about, like, thankfully my rooted the rooted hair and the Jokers I have is it's very well done, and it I've really done nothing with it. I kind of like pushed it together at one stage. It was fine, like that. It's going to be harder with like a short-haired Harry Potter, or like the Battinson, the hair's down to about here, like, will that sit down as neatly? Like, I presume like they're the experts, they'll want to make sure, but I think this is a great I think it's a solid comment there. This was about the blue Warner Brothers 100 DX19 Batman. He said, this guy, Hell Beetle, straight out, waste of plastic that could be used to create something we need, like Burton's Catwoman Penguin or Batman Zoe Catwoman. I think a lot of people would agree with that. I think one panelist would disagree. Mike, did you pull the trigger on the blue and grey Batman?
I did. I want to use Hell Beetle's comment as an opportunity to remind everyone that we can have a laugh at other people's opinions and enjoy it and not take it personally.
Yeah.
I've got 2 of these coming, Hell Beetle, okay? And I'm okay with your comment. It's okay. It makes me laugh. Some of us like, some of us don't like, but we should never take it personally.
Mike, what did you like with the new? What made you jump on it? No, it's serious, because we were talking about this last week, and I don't think I've seen a figure so negative comments when it came out. And but obviously, I don't know. Obviously, I was on the Wonder Woman, like that crap that was, where everyone got their emails late and they'd already sold out, and things like that. But I'm fine with waiting for that. But has it gone to waitlist already with that Batman?
It has. It went that day, in a couple hours.
Oh, it did?
Yeah. So
what do you like in it, Mike? What's your...
You know what I like about it? It's so freaking weird.
Yeah.
That's what I like about it. Honestly, I like that it's so strange. They'll never... First of all, you'll never get a 2.0. and I just like that it's such an odd one-off. And for years, I've collected 7-inch figures. And so a repaint can sometimes be a lot of fun.
You're not alone.
Yeah, I mean, I also have another idea for it, and I have no idea if this is going to work. But one thing you could do with that figure that could be kind of fun is everyone's talking now about creating their own Batman armory, as we've seen all these teases from Hot Toys about from the Flash. So if you pop out the eyes and the mouth plate in this thing, kind of hollow out that head and put it in an armory, you cannot tell me it wouldn't look at least interesting.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. No, I think you're right. I think it's been. I think it's. You will be surprised how popular that figure's going to be. Mm-hmm. I think after the negative sort of feedback from everyone, but like you say, have you ordered 2? Did you say?
Well, I ordered 2, and I have a problem with ordering things by accident, in a sense. I ordered 1. Well, I got nervous, right? So I said,
Mike, sorry to cut you off, buddy, but sometimes people say things on streams, and I immediately put them into my little Google Keep list for the next episode of Shit Collectors Say. I ordered it by mistake. I wanted a prize. No, I had that one already. My friend gave me that one.
My wife might watch this later, or she can hear me, so I have to be careful.
Oh, yeah, that is a new one, isn't it? I ordered 2
That is a new one. I ordered it by mistake.
Mike, let me get the book out. That's another one I put in the same as you.
Did you order, was it the Thanos Gauntlet?
Yeah. That was truly by accident. That one was...
Could you please tell that story?
Sure.
Please.
So a month prior to this, so this sale, I think they did their showcase on this past Friday. And so the prior one, a month before that, I don't know if you guys were watching that, but they had a lot of really exciting one-offs that they had found. They had the Vader Tarkin 2-pack and the Han and Luke in Stormtrooper. And we're all trying to get this stuff at the same time, and it's just bouncing out of everyone's cart. Everyone had a frustrating day, and we all talked about it later. So I was sitting with my wife, this most recent one, and I have it on the television, and I've got the site up on my phone. They dropped the link, and I go, watch. Their site doesn't even work, fix your servers. And I go, watch, honey, I can't get it into my cart. And I couldn't. Kept trying. About 10 minutes later, I sit down, I go, watch this. And it goes into the cart. And I say, yeah, but that doesn't even matter. Because the last one I had stuff in my cart, when you click buy, it pops out. So I go, watch this, buy. He goes, congratulations. I go, no, what have I done? I didn't want to do that.
You know that there's 44 people watching, and I'd say about 27 of them are going, I'm going to use that one.
It's a good technique if you have somebody who might not approve of your purchases. But
Costa here. I've drunk ordered figures and didn't realize it until the next day.
Oh, that's great.
That's a hangover worth having. You wake up and be like, all right, it's okay. This next one then, this is on the review I dropped on the DX13, a figure I worked backwards on. I don't tend to work backwards a lot, but in recent years I have just thrown caution to the wind and goes, no, I want that. It's not as if I'm never going to wake up. It's not as if I'm ever going to wake up some morning and go, you know what, I don't like Terminator 1 or Terminator 2 anymore. But I noticed that I'd heard that the pleather belt basically disintegrates even if it's brand new, and it was brand new in box. So I got it. It was all like sealed and proper like that, and shipper and all that jazz. So I'd already ordered a real leather one just to have if that was the case, and it was a bit of pleathering on it, peeling on it. But I was worried about the two jackets and the pants because apparently they peel as well and they start to flake. While there was no flaking on it, I noticed like certain areas were a bit like grey, and I was like, is this weathering or what is it? But this comment kind of put my mind at ease. The grey part is part of the weathering. Every DX13 I've seen so far included it. Mine also had this. Well, that was one I kind of wanted to hear. But yeah, it's very hard to tell because the thing is so bloody battle damaged anyway. So thankfully no flaking or peeling, but yeah, it's just
Is your arm all right on that? Because I had problems when I had mine years ago. The arm broke.
Notoriously snaps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine, see, it was brand new in the box. So a lot of people, I think, when they get it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was brand new in the box. Wow. Like I got Lion Rock Toys actually hunted it down for me for a decent price as well. I mean, they're going for like $1,000 on eBay and stuff like that. And
yeah, great figure.
I wasn't going to pay that. There's no way. Like,
no,
but
no way.
Yeah, I asked them to be able to see if they could get me one, and they did. I didn't get it at retail or anything, obviously. Like, but it was just a figure I was really, really wanted, and I had seen numerous ads on adverts.ie, a few of them recently actually saying, perfect, but has the broken arm issue. So it's like the little peg inside the swap out arm, because it comes with like the two jackets, the one with the full length and the one with the half with the battle damage thing. So there's a swap out forearm apparently that snaps off the peg, so that's the issue. But no, thankfully, now I did have to remove that, so it was like deep breath, get rid of it, squeaky bum time. But yeah, thankfully it wasn't broken. I was very, very lucky, so I took the risk and it paid off. But this one here then, Tyria, who is in a chat, I believe, the comparison of 722 is night and day. When the Kenobi Vader comes out, I will have to hook him up at one of those. What he's referring to is, this is obviously a review on the DX23 Mando Luke Skywalker. I got a CCFL saber for it, and in the video I have the figure posed with the CCFL saber, but then I take out the arm of the stock arm that comes with the Hot Toys. I pop in the batteries and put on the lightsaber, and I hold it next to it so you can see the difference between a CCFL and the battery-powered one. So, in short, the CCFL looks like an actual saber, and the other ones don't, personally. But look, we'll see what they do with their USBs. But yeah, so that's addressed the comments. Now, look, we're here, and there's 45 in the chat. If you are liking the stream, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And please subscribe to Dan and Carbon as well, and follow these boys on Instagram. Now, we're here to talk about this one next. Mike, take it away. Go nuts on this. Any interest?
Yeah, it's another one of those figures that I cannot wait to see, but most likely will not be picking it up. But I have no doubt it's going to be a lot to talk about in a positive way. Yeah, I love the texture already that I'm seeing. So.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah, sorry, I would love to chat more about this image, but there's not much to go by.
No, that's perfect. This is perfect, because later on we're talking about the things we want. Like, I would say a lot of times I pass on a lot of the things I like to collect, the things I love. There's a lot of stuff out there that looks amazing, but I just don't get it, because I know if I get that as good as it looks, there'll be another figure that looks just as good, but I actually have some sort of nostalgia or connection to it, or just a character or figure I love. So this actually is perfect, because like you seem to have a bit of discipline there when you're not ordering things by mistake. But that's what I really want to pick your brain about later on, when we start talking about how do we decipher, how do we manage our wish lists, and how do we separate what we want from what we need. Now, I know we don't need any of this stuff, but you know what I mean, collector need. So this here, obviously it's just one picture by Inart. It's, judging by this logo down here, it looks like the BVS logo. You got a Superman emblem on the front. You got what looks like a Batarang on the back. So I presume this is the BVS Superman. John from Inart, I've seen on multiple streams saying they are making a Gal Gadot Wonder Woman. They're making a Cavill Superman, and they're making a Ben Affleck Batman. So this would suggest Strangely enough, he has said multiple times they're making the black suit Superman. I always thought that was really weird. Why would you do that suit? Because it only appears in like, one movie or a selection of comic books or something like that. Again, correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section down below. But I thought it'd be better for them to actually make, proper red and blue suit, and they are. Now, the caption on this was day versus night. So I'm wondering, I know that's a quote from BVS. Lame Luther says it. What's his name? Jesse Eisenberg. I wasn't a fan of that now, but
No.
they say day versus night. So I mean, is this going to be like they're going to do a 2-pack with the blue suit and the black suit version? Because John definitely said they're making the black suit version, or is it going to be like Clark Kent and Superman? But then that doesn't make sense because Clark Kent, Superman saves people during the day as well. Like it's like Superman isn't his night look, or is it just a random BVS quote, or are they going to do like a 2-pack of Superman and Ben Affleck? I don't think that's going to happen, but maybe they do a single Superman rooted and sculpted, and then do Ben Affleck BVS rooted and sculpted. So,
but this is the Snyderverse. Everything happens at night, and Superman is very dour.
yeah, it's
Shane.
true.
Remember,
Turn up the
he's
brightness, Zach. Yeah. No, you're not wrong. Dan, I know you're really excited about this one. Look, I just go nuts, man. There's not much to go with here, but I think people are excited. What do you think?
I think I was saying to you earlier is that I've had all three. I haven't had the black one, but I've had the Man of Steel, BVS, and Justice League, which I only had up to a few weeks ago, and I sold it. I love it. Always had a bit of presence, but it was just never right for me. The Justice, they were never. I don't know, just never. It looks good, but there was certain things like the body felt too big, and I didn't like the cape on some of them, and the head sculpt was good, but they never really updated it from the BVS to Justice League that much, and I think with Inart, I think they're gonna. I've got a feeling they're gonna smash this. Absolutely go. This is going to be great. I'm really excited to see this. We can't really go on much. The cape looks good. I don't know, with this, will they offer a wire cape as well? So you can do different poses. I'm on the museum pose. I want to like sit, be nice and flat, like against the body, and just look quite intimidating. But then obviously some people like it as a flying pose as well. So it'd be interesting to see what they can offer if the suit comes off. I don't know. The
detachable cape,
etc. Yeah, but yeah.
So what do you mean? Are you curious about if the cape comes off?
Well, no, because obviously, if they do just like a drape cape, which just drapes down and thing, or will they do like a, wired cape that you can put into, big poses and all that sort of stuff. And
for the money they're charging, they should probably be doing both. To be fair,
yeah. I mean, with the Snyderverse, the Clark Kent character himself wasn't that interesting, really, in my opinion. I think if it was Christopher Reeve, I think you could have both, and I think that would go really well. I think I would rather have a 2-pack of Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne and Batman than Clark Kent and Superman, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because I think I've seen some amazing customs with the Ben Affleck Bruce Wayne with the suit and everything. I think that looks good. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. But like what you've said, Shane, is that I can see it being a double pack, so it's a black and a red suit, and you've got that option.
And you made me think too about the Clark Kent aspect of it. So far we've just seen kind of dirty, greasy, oily, weighted down hair, which I think is a little bit easier to do. Yeah. And the Harry hair was basically a mop top, which might be a little easier to do. When you go towards like the Shane look, the Superman clean, short hair styled look, I think that would be even a greater challenge. So I'm curious to see that.
What, rooted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Just so much kind of shorter hair, like
shorter but styled is going to be interesting.
And it's the same with Superman, even himself. Like exactly like you said, is that he hasn't really got the curl, but if they
insinuation,
I know what you mean. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But do you know what? This is exciting, and I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a tease for Wonder Woman soon as well. just to
Right,
say
yeah.
to Hot Toys, this is what we can do. It's true, you know,
Yeah.
that they're both doing it to each other, it seems, at the moment.
Now,
The most
speaking
exciting
about
is the
that,
bats. Sorry.
speaking about that, that's a perfect segue because Martin Kay said, I think I'd be more interested in what Inart is doing if they focus more on one-off characters and properties that aren't the sort of thing that Hot Toys would do or has already done. The thing about that is, I think while a lot of people want one-off characters, I've seen people ask for anything from Big Trouble in Little China characters to kind of random anime or computer game characters. The thing about that is that they are a business and they kind of have to go for the popular IPs and the popular characters at the start, at least, to actually get the money in the door. Let's be honest. They picked the Joker because it's ticking so many boxes. It's from a great trilogy, a great movie. The performance is fantastic. The character is beloved, and rest in peace. The performer happens to be, you know, while he was incredibly talented, happened to have passed away at the moment. That's like they're ticking a lot of boxes there for that kind of prestige. Like, but when they do this and they pick, they're also limited by the fact that they have a Warner Brothers license and they don't have, like, you know, say Star Wars or Marvel. But when they're picking these, I've seen a lot of people say like they're making the same stuff. Like there's already like this version. Hot Toys have already done this version of Superman. Hot Toys have already done that same version of the Joker. Hot Toys are doing the Robert Pattinson Batman. I totally get that, but you're getting to see like with like. Then you're getting to see, like, the best example is Hot Toys Robert Pattinson, and then Inart Robert Pattinson, a brand new figure, you know, that they both were making in the same time frame. And that's, you really get to see what's going to be better then. You know what I mean? With this as well, like this figure that Hot Toys did, okay, it's going a bit old now if it's the BVS one, a little bit old, but still, it's not like comparing the Inart Joker to the DX11. That's an unfair comparison, you know? So I think it's actually a good thing that they're kind of going, right, we're actually going to do some figures that Hot Toys have done before, just to go, this is what we can do, and this is what Hot Toys did. But the most relevant comparison is definitely the Robert Pattinson Batman, because they're literally neck and neck, you know. I just want to address a super chat here. So super chat, thank you very much to X-Man Supreme for the $1.99 super chat. I really appreciate that. You didn't like Rid Luther. This is Jesse Eisenberg's character, is it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I watched BVS Superman the other day, actually, the extended cut. And he grew on me a little bit more than I did it originally.
Shane, you got something against Jolly Ranchers? Do you remember that moment when he's passing the Jolly Rancher?
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm such a Gene Hackman fan, so
Me too.
I love the original. And I mean, obviously, a lot of people like Smallville, which I never really watched. So, for me, Gene Hackman is the Lex Luthor for me. You know, because I'm a bit older.
Of course.
A lot of other people.
Same here.
So, but it wasn't that bad.
Is he kind of like, basically he's merging the Riddler and Luthor together, is he? I presume. Yeah. Jesse Eisenberg, I liked him in, what was I seeing? I think Zombieland. Was he in Zombieland?
Yeah, he's good in that. Yeah.
His suited, very much suited, and I liked him playing Mark Zuckerberg as well in what's the Facebook social network. That's a David Fincher movie. I'm very, very biased because I love Fight Club, is one of my favorite movies. But so Superman or X-Man Supreme, thanks very much. I do appreciate that. Joe was just in there to thank you. But sorry, what were you saying, Daniel, just about this particular Superman? Is there anything else you want to add, or?
I just think this will be quite popular. I think it'll be interesting to see what it is against the Inart Joker. But I think if they get this right, I think they're going to get a lot of people buying it. I really do. I think the Snyderverse is really strong, especially coming off the Flash that's going to happen, and a lot of people seem to think it's pretty good. There's been mixed reviews, like with the critics, but a lot of people have seen it said it's good. I don't know if Superman's in it, but you've got Supergirl in it. I think there's an interest now for DC. They're on a bit of a roll at the moment, and this is a perfect time for Inart to announce this. Absolutely perfect. If they can get the photos out in the next few weeks and put them in the pre-order up, I think they're going to have a lot of business.
Yeah. I'm just so curious about everything that they do. Like the only figures that I have in hand from them, very very thankful to have them in hand, is the rooted Inart Joker 2-pack. But I mean, on any day of the week, that gives my collection a run for the best 1/6 figure in my collection. Like just for the head sculpt, the paint applications, the tailoring, the die-cast accessories they've been given out to them. I actually love them. I think it's just adds more to them. The fact that it has the Smith & Wesson written on them is pretty cool too. The rooted hair, the it's expensive. And I've heard people say, $1,000 for a figure. And I've heard that say over and over and over again. But it wasn't $1,000. It was, it was like a 2-pack. It was a 2-pack and a, really well put together, high quality diorama. Is it expensive? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I suppose it comes down to how much you like the character and I suppose how much you're willing to pay. I mean, certain things I just won't pay money for. But then it'd be like something that's a bit more like Terminator, RoboCop, and Aliens, and I'm just take my wallet. Just take my wallet. Do you want a direct debit? Like I can put my salary into your bank. It's so then it's kind of inconsistency maybe, But
Shane, did you say that it has the branding Smith & Wesson on the firearm?
I'm pretty sure it does. Yeah.
So that's an advantage that if I'm thinking about this correctly, that Inart may have by having an Asia license versus the pressure to sell in North America and Europe, because they certainly frown upon that kind of thing here with toys, so to speak. So I wonder if they have more leeway with guns and things like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. But sometimes it's like, you heard all that when the Peacemaker was announced, there was no shots of him with the gun in his hand, and there was people
that's
saying
DC
that,
again, isn't it? So
possibility that it wasn't able to come out of the holster. Now that's been disproved. It was confirmed that it is removable from the holster, but then you have like Anne Hathaway. I think for her Catwoman, she's actually holding a pistol, which is unusual because a lot of time they're not allowed to have the pistols in the promotion image, which is very very strange.
Yeah,
they must have gone and got the licensing or from Smith & Wesson, or did they just chance it? Who knows? Yeah,
right.
Yeah, probably just chanced it, Yeah, so closing thoughts on that. From people on the panel, Mike, you were quick enough to say, no, look, you seem you know what you want, you know what you don't want, so this is not for you. Dan, I think at the other end of the spectrum where you're like, yeah, I'm in on this, if it turns out good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, well, let's see the photos first and see the price, see what they're offering, because obviously that comes down to it as well. I don't know if I'd spend $1,000 on this. It'd have to be something quite special. Hopefully, I'll to be honest, I wouldn't be, worried about a Clark Kent. I just want a good Superman,
Yeah, but if they have this like this particular figure, and it's has say, do you do rooted hair, sculpted hair, or which do you prefer?
So I didn't do rooted for the Batman within art because I thought the sculpted hair looked pretty good. Where I've got rooted hair for the Joker. I'll just have to see, mate. I'll just have to see how much money it is, really. Do you know what I mean? I think it will probably be around $500, $600 if it was rooted. But you've got to see what accessories it comes with because it's Superman. What will he come with? It's not like.
I'll tell you one thing: a drape cape and a wired cape, like we were talking earlier on, would probably be something that I think a lot of collectors are waiting to see.
Yeah,
because especially like it's not like with the Robert Pattinson Batman, it came with a bunch of accessories, didn't it?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, okay, you can get away with it. He just has the drape cape. But with Superman, he doesn't have no grappling gun. He doesn't have like.
Is he going to have a stand that you can, put him in a flying pose in or something like that? It'd be so interesting. Well, it looks like he's in some sort of pose here, so it's going to be interesting.
Heat eyes, the heat effect, from the eyes maybe. But maybe two capes like with the Batman Flash.
Flashman. What
cool.
would be awesome is, and it would never happen, but like you sometimes you see those these things pop up my Instagram. It's like a DeLorean. Again, it's like a 1/12 scale, and it's like levitating on some sort of magnet thing. So it's some sort of magnet, so it's perfectly set. So you get a figure now that can just levitate with proper magnets. I am not jumping a shark here now. It's never going to happen, but that'd be the bomb. Like something that lifelike rooted hair and it's just levitating above the stand.
The hair's just blowing in the breeze ever so
Yeah.
gently.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, yeah. But I think just enough
you
people
gonna get it,
giving out
Shane?
about their magnets, so there might not be at that magnet level yet, you know.
Let's let them stand before they fly, Shane.
Yeah, exactly.
Shane, are you going to get this?
Yeah, me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm leaning towards no for the simple reason that I'm not the biggest DCU fan. I liked Man of Steel, and I wanted a representation of Henry Cavill's Superman on my shelf, but I particularly like the Justice League Vibrant Blue. So that's the one I went for, even though I did not like the Justice League or the Snyder Cut. But because I really like the graphic novel, the comic, The Dark Knight Returns, and the animated counterpart animated, I suppose, movie that came with it that was based on it. I wanted to pair Superman with Batman, so I got the battle damage armored version for BVS, because even though as a whole I wasn't a big fan of BVS, there was aspects of it I really liked. I loved how Bruce Wayne, it basically glorified the prep time. It shows him being CrossFit Batman, preparing to carry the extra weight of the suit. It showed him, paying silly money to go and source this kryptonite and doing his research and making his kryptonite smoke bombs and his spear. I thought that was bloody cool. And then when they did fight in that environment, right up to Martha, I was all in. Do you know what I mean?
That's
I was all
exactly what you've just said. Then the Martha thing was the thing, and even in the cinema, I went, "What?"
Said, "Oops, no."
Yeah, but then after it, the fight in the warehouse was amazing as well.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
That was the fight.
Yeah,
for me.
True. I might actually go and watch that movie at some point.
I did. I watched it last week. Honestly, watch it again. Yeah,
the extended cut, isn't that?
Yeah.
The way to
go.
go.
Right. It was all right. Yeah.
I really enjoyed it much more as well. The extended.
Good stuff. All right, so that kind of this brings us up onto the main focus, pun not really intended, but we'll go with it. So I'll just take this comment down, and right. So wish lists, separating wants from needs. Again, if you're just joining us, thanks very much to the 55 people watching. Thanks very much to these panelists who've given up their time to come on here and chat figures. So if you haven't done so already, please consider clicking the like and subscribe button. It really does help grow the channel. If you want to become a channel member, there is a link in the live chat. It's pinned. So what we're doing is, I would define no wish lists, like I've mentioned already. Some people think wish lists are okay, figures that haven't been announced yet that I'd really love, and that's not. I know that's a perfectly acceptable interpretation of it. When I say my wish list, it's figures that are out there, they're up for pre-order, but I haven't pulled the trigger on because I'm trying to manage the pre-orders, I'm trying to manage the space, I'm trying to manage the finances and payment plans and all that kind of stuff. I can't get everything. Okay, none of us really can unless you've unlimited space and budget. So with this here, I'm trying to, how do you figure out you're separating the wants from the needs? So what I want to do is just have a conversation with my panelists. We're going to look at my wish list. We're going to look at Dan's wish list. And then I'll leave you to last, because thanks very much, Mike, you're after coming in at late notice. But if you want to give us a few examples of some figures that are out there for pre-order that you haven't pulled the trigger on yet, and maybe you will or maybe you won't. Maybe there's figures you're okay, I'm definitely getting that, I just haven't pulled the trigger. Or maybe there's figures you're I'm 50-50, or maybe there's figures that I just really like that, but I know it's probably not going to make the cut. So this was Dan's here. He sent us
the spelling's quite, I was typing that quick, so
sorry, I should have given you a heads up there, but no, we're not here to judge the spelling. So you want to just go through these different ones first? Just maybe, do you want to just read them out?
Okay, just there's a couple more now we've just been talking that I'll go first while I remember. One is Peacemaker. I loved that show, absolutely loved it. I'm a pretty big WWE fan, but not actually a John Cena fan, but he sort of won me over with his performance in Peacemaker in the TV show. And when they originally showed the figure, it was an easy pass because I thought the body and everything looked dreadful. But in the end, when they all came back out, when they fixed the head, I wish they'd done a head sculpt with the mask on, with the helmet. But that's one that I'm thinking: do I need it? Will I buy it and then sell it? Because you know how easy that is to do sometimes when you get something in and then a few weeks it's gone again. And then, just talking through these, The Flash, I need to see the movie first. if I really like it. That new Flash that they announced last week was awesome. So that's something that, again, riding the hype train at the moment, you'd probably order it straight away once you've seen the film. But I'm a sucker for the hype train, and the problem is with that is then after a few weeks, the hype's died, and then you're left with something that perhaps you don't want anymore, which I think a lot of collectors can identify with.
And it's great that you've said that out loud and had the confidence to say that out loud, because it probably doesn't get
mate,
said
I'm
enough.
not even like that with Star Wars, and that's my number one go-to thing. I even said to you the other day, I'm going, because I'm not in the hype train with Star Wars. It's all DC and things like that now. And I was thinking, do I sell my troopers? I've got like 10 troopers, like different variations. Do I sell that and I can fund other things? And then I know I've done it before where I've done that and bought Marvel, and then the Marvel hype train dies, and then I buy it all back again. So I've been really good and tried not to do it. So, but then like the second one down is the one thing I did again with the hype train. It's exactly the thing I'm talking about. I watched Guardians last month, and I've got no Marvel in my collection anymore. And Guardians is my favourite IP of the Marvel sort of universe. And I said, if they release all the Guardians 3 outfit, the suits all together, then I would buy them all together and have them on their own as a team, because I think that would look wicked. But I'd only get them if they did all of them. That includes Mantis and Nebula and Drax, which they've not announced yet. I've spelled her name wrong, but Costa Reeves is another one. I've definitely spelled that wrong. Sorry, guys. I was doing it quickly because you actually took it. Again, I'm a big WWE fan, so I like Sasha Banks. But again, I think, I've got quite a few of the new, sort of TV shows, Ahsoka and Bo-Katan. She's really good, and the head sculpt is amazing if they keep it like that. But I don't know if she'll be one of those that I'll buy and have it for a few weeks and want to get rid of her. So I think that's one that I'll sit on for a while and not get. The Dark Knight Rises Armory. I don't even think I want it, but it looks amazing. I haven't really got the space. I'd have to get another module case, I think, to put everything in. But that was one that I was looking at. And again, with not having Marvel in my collection, I love the new, that's supposed to say the new red suit, the new Spider-Man suit that's from the end of No Way Home, which I think most people are going to get because of the head sculpt, and they fixed the neck with Peter Parker, when you put Peter Parker head on. That's one that I'm tempted to pick up, but again, it wouldn't go with anything else because I haven't got any Marvel. Inart Pennywise, I like my horror. I've got quite a few Michael Myers figures that I've had customized. But again, I was tempted to get the Hot Toys one until I saw the Inart. That's one I'm going to be fighting with, but I don't know if I like the IP enough to spend that much money. Jazz Inc. Snowspeeder and Batmobile. Well, that's Jazz Inc. as well. Sorry, I was doing that quick. I haven't got space. I'd love that Snowspeeder. I think most Star Wars fans would love it, but where are we going to put it? Same with the Batmobile. Cobb Vanth, again, love the character, but I don't know if he's interested enough to keep in the shelf. And the last one, I don't know if anyone know about it, but Shark City Ozark, which is a company in America. I've had a bust from them before that do Jaws sharks, basically, they do a 1/6 shark from Jaws. It is fucking massive. It will probably be the size of a 160 module case. It's
so if people didn't think module cases looked like fish tanks before, now they definitely will.
Actually, yeah, it is amazing, man. It is. I'll try and find it. I'm going to send you a link in a minute. I'll send it.
Yeah, please do.
Awesome. I don't know if they've discontinued doing them at the moment, but they did a 1/6 one. They do like, I'm going to order that. They do like a 1/6 bust of Bruce, it's called, because that's shark was named in Jaws after Spielberg's lawyer. But they do a 6 scale one, and it looks amazing. I'll find it in a minute and I'll share it with you anyway. So just do that. But anyway, look, sorry guys, that's my long-winded list.
No, that's perfect.
with bad,
So like,
with bad iPhone types, quick.
yeah, no problem, no
text,
problem. I should have given you a heads up. I was going to use the text. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's just I was doing it quick. So
Yeah, but it's definitely it's not a spelling test here anyway. I do the same. It's autocorrect.
no, but I can. I know chatting. I know when chatting. So anyway, look, I'm just saying that, guys. I mean, I'm pretty happy. To be honest, if I'm being totally honest, I'm pretty happy with my pre-orders and what I'm going to go for. These are the ones that are on the sort of, well, definitely not jazzing. There were like little things I sort of mentioned, but these are the ones at the moment I'm sort of like tinkering of, do I get if I go for. Some of these are miles away, some of these are imminent, so it'd be interesting to see. Anyway, I've talked enough.
It's good
now.
to put them down and then kind of go, right, okay,
Yeah,
are you going to choose that X over Y or something? Pardon?
Yeah.
If you like, basically, it's good to like have them all written out there. Like, no matter like whether you want to, there are ones you're definitely going to pick up, or ones you're 50-50, or ones you're like, I probably won't, but it looks cool. And then kind of, it's easier to rank them then and cut off what you need and what you don't. So I'll just go through my own one then. So I don't think this is exhaustive either. This is basically ones that I've definitely keen on for some reason, and I think they're kind of ranked here. Pretty much the top three are ones I'm probably not going to pass on. So the Return of the Jedi, yeah. So again, these are up for pre-order, but I haven't committed yet. And the ones at the top tend to be the ones I want more. But the Return of the Jedi, Vader and C-3PO for obvious reasons. Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, Andrew's the Andrew Garfield. I do have this vision for having Andrew, Toby, and Tom in one detail, doing the kind of meme pose or something like that. And I've only locked in the Toby. So I haven't ordered the Andrew because, well, it's sad. I won't be ordering beside you anyway, but I just haven't got around to it. I'm still not 100% sure on it. And the integrated suit, I think I chopped off the end of this. The integrated suit Spider-Man's down here on the bottom. Maybe I just get rid of, one second, get rid of this banner. That's probably it. Yeah, there we go. So I have BB down beside it because I think it's destined for the bargain bin. I want the regular version. I don't want the one with the base. I just don't have space for it. And it's not what I want to do. So if I was getting them, I'd have the three of them without the base. So Toby, I've ordered that without the base. Andrew, I think, has been sold with the base separately, so I won't be getting that. Just the Andrew on its own if I do get it, and an integrated suit on its own, just to save money, and I don't need the base as well. So the top three they're more or less certs. Everything under that is kind of like could go either way. But like the Catwoman from the Dark Knight trilogy just makes sense for me to get because of how much I love the trilogy. I also have no female figures. I have an Ahsoka on the way. That's my first female figure. But then again, I'm not going to get a female figure just for the sake of getting a female figure. That's not how I collect. I want to get like strong female characters who are interesting but cool. So Ahsoka's a no-brainer. I did really like Anne Hathaway's Catwoman. Cad Bane, I'll tell you my logic on this one. I like figures that are triple threats, that I like the character, the source material in that particular version. I really like the character Cad Bane. The source material, while I didn't like the Book of Boba Fett, I did really like his appearance and his scene. It's one of the standouts for me of the series, and in Star Wars, it's a great bloody scene. And that particular version, I do really like how he looks in live action. Again, maybe that's because I'm not a big Clone Wars fan. The Wolverine, again, it's not hasn't been pre-order, but it's just so good. I love Hugh Jackman as his depiction, his performance, portrayal of Wolverine, and really looking forward to Deadpool 3. And the fact that it comes with like the seamless wrists, the real leather jacket, that amazing head sculpt, this is one I could definitely see myself getting on board with. Inart Batman, haven't pulled the trigger on that. I do have one source, but I haven't actually committed it yet. Chrome Mando, again, like when it comes to Mandalorian, I like to collect the key figures from key scenes. So if you look behind me, you're going to see the DX-23 Luke, you're going to see a Beskar Mando, you're going to see the Boba Roba 2-pack. I've got Ahsoka on the way. I think this would be great to have some sort of a villain which is linked to the Mandalorian. I know it's not a Mandalorian villain, but as much as I like Giancarlo Esposito, I just don't think the head sculpt was on point. But I would like kind of like a bad character that's associated with the Mandalorian, even though he's technically not in the Mandalorian, is in the Book of Boba Fett, but I was there or thereabouts. Yeah, so and the Clone Pile, I'm a Trooper collector. I'm kind of putting that one on the long finger. Could be a risk. Maybe they sell out, but they're still available, and the price has been dropped down in Hong Kong, according to Joao Breda. And also, this price is dropping down on different sites. I've seen them already, like Tim Cent and stuff like that. So look, that's the wish list. I suppose the conversation now is like, how do we go about navigating this, you know? So I'll just bring us in here now, and we'll get rid of this. So Mike, so do you have like figures that you're keen on a wish list, basically, that you haven't pre-ordered but you're like, they're out there, and they're ones you've got your eye on, and some of them you're like, oh, I'm definitely going to get that, or some of them I'm definitely interested, some of them you're undecided but they've caught your attention? Like, do you have any figures like that?
I just quickly typed it out for you and sent it to you on Instagram. I don't know if it's easy to bring that up on your screen quickly.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll just you can go
form.
through them and I'll sort this.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just you can chat through them there.
Yeah, people are going to start saying, I thought this guy was a Star Wars fan. What the heck? Because there's a lot of Star Wars on here that I haven't ordered yet. But I promise I have good reasons. So, Bespin Luke.
Yeah.
Deepfake Luke. And I don't know if you want to hear my silly reasons for each one of them as to why I haven't ordered them yet. But
no, go. That's what you're here for, man.
So yeah, I mean, the Bespin, part of the thing that I'm looking at with these two figures is they are the last of the old guard with the battery-operated sabers. As a newer collector, I have a bit of an advantage that I don't have a backlog of, or back stock of figures with battery arms. I'd be starting almost fresh. So my upgrading to maybe CCFL would be much less moving forward than, say, guys that have been doing this for 10 years, if that makes sense. So when I look at the Bespin, part of it was he wasn't really, the suit was very clean. Of course, I can weather it if I wanted to. But ultimately, this comes down to putting up guardrails on your collection and where you're trying to go with it. Because for me, when I got in at what I perceived as the perfect time to collect prequels and Clone Wars, as opposed to OT and then going down the rabbit hole of worrying, damn, dude, which figures do I need to backtrack and pick up? And I was really trying to avoid that. So I said, okay, I'm going to focus heavily on prequels and Clone Wars. And as much as I love the OT, being in my mid-40s, that is really where my Star Wars love originally came from. I'm trying to keep those rails up. So it's Bespin Luke, Deepfake Luke, who I think looks fantastic as well. Mm-hmm. And then I'm still looking at my phone when you have it on the screen. Return of the Jedi Vader and 3PO. So again, I'm looking more towards not being a completist, but for example, if they don't make an R2, which we know they will, but maybe they won't make a Luke from Return of the Jedi. And I just don't want to have a lot of holes in my collection or holes in the line as I want them to look. Does that make sense? And so I'm a little bit concerned as to what else they'll release from Return of the Jedi. So I've been holding off on those. Nothing to say you can't have that Vader as just this one-off statement piece. So that's why he's on the list, because he's not a definite no, but he's certainly up for consideration. Just haven't added him to the pre-order list yet. Kenobi from Kenobi. The face sculpt was a little soft for me, and please no one take offense for this, I really did not like that show. I just didn't like it at all. As much as I want to like it, and I love Ewan McGregor, he's still on the list because of my love for him and his portrayal of the character. Had the show been a home run, he'd already be on my pre-order list. And then we have live-action Ahsoka. So I have the Ahsoka Clone Wars. Live-action Ahsoka's not quite there yet for me for two reasons. One, she doesn't fit into what I'm buying right now. And two, I'm looking forward to the release from her own show. And that is a line I plan on just getting everything from, because I love those characters from Rebels, and it's our opportunity to get the live-action Rebels in 1/6 form. So I'm waiting for that one. The Batman. So right now I've limited myself to 89. And really that's it. 89 Batman, and 89 in the Dark Knight trilogy. Those are the two that I'm limiting myself to. Although I did love
man after my own heart.
But I did love that film. I thought it was really great. So we'll see about it. 89 Batmobile for space and financial reasons. It's a big one. Fennec Shand. I love her. I love the actress. I love the portrayal, and she was in the Bad Batch. So again, I don't know if you can see above me, but I have some Bad Batch figures right there. I'm going all in on that team, and she would fit as a nice opponent to those guys on the shelf. A second Super Battle Droid, I already have one, so I'm cheating a little bit, but I think just to kind of flesh out that army building I'm trying to do, maybe a second one might be great. And the Wolverine, I'll tell you something. The only reason I haven't ordered this is because I cannot stand bone claws. That addition to the Wolverine lore has never sat well with me. That's a more recent addition to his lore. And look, he's got a super olfactory sense and healing factor. That's it in my old school Wolverine sensibilities.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the bone claw thing. Although I'm a child of the 70s, so I am a sucker for that aesthetic. I haven't pulled the trigger on him yet.
I gotta say, man, I think if they included both the bone claws and the actual adamantium, that figure wouldn't be on my wish list. It'd be on my pre-order list.
Same here.
They are so close. But like, yeah, I might be able to build a bridge on this, but this is the whole point. This is why they're on the wish list. It's unusual on a stream for people bringing up things that they have not ordered. Usually it's like, oh, that was dopo, that's paid off, that's on a payment plan. I'm waiting in the bargain bin, but like this is stuff that we haven't actually ordered, unusual. But these are the things that you're kind of going, okay, we need to, shit or get off the pot at some stage, because these things are going to release then, and maybe they're going to be sold out. I know, like, I don't do the wait lists on sites don't particularly bother me. I don't, because I don't order for them. You can get them from Hong Kong or whatever. Like, but other people don't. Other people do order from Sideshow exclusively, so they maybe are a bit more, maybe under pressure if they're doing something like that. Possibly, I don't fully believe that, but these conversations I think are important.
And some of these SKUs have already sold out on Sideshow.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that's true. That's true. So sorry, the Wolverine was the last one then, yeah.
Yep.
Good stuff. So I suppose now is the kind of hard part, guys. Like, it's so easy to kind of go like I used to have this list of countries. I still have it. Countries I want to visit, and maybe I read about them, or maybe like a friend who has traveled all over the world, who I respect their taste in, countries to travel to, have recommended them, or maybe I saw it in a movie or something like that, and I just add that to my list. The problem with that is it takes time, money, and effort, and more money to ever actually just go and get one of those and go to those countries. Like, I think pre-ordering is a little like that, like, because it just takes one like series of a show, or one good movie, or one string of good episodes, or a good character arc, and you're like, I'm in on that. And then they put it up, they announce it, but they might announce like in the 1 month they might announce 3, 4, 5 things you're interested in. Then it kind of, you're added to the list, but it takes money to actually get those things and make them reality, so you can't have everything. So like, how do you navigate your wish lists? How do you, like, the two of you, like, or people in the chat as well, like, how do you decide something actually makes the cut and something goes from becoming a want to a need? So how do you separate the wants from the needs? And I know we don't need any of this stuff, these are luxury items, but you know what I'm saying, for the purpose of this, that's the terminology we're going to use. How do you separate the wants from the needs? Feel free, guys, jump in if you want to.
Oh, well, yeah. Have you guys ever done this before, where an accessory can change your mind, or at least open up a window as to what you can do with the figure on display? It could be something. I'll give you an example. I pre-ordered the KX Enforcer droid. I wasn't even really looking at it until I saw that it had a Mando helmet, and the base was that the war base.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've got 3 Death Watch Mandalorians, and all of a sudden that figure made sense to me, because those Mandalorians were going to go somewhere else. When I saw that KX with the helmet, I said, oh my god, a war scene. It's perfect. I can have 2 of them flying, one on the ground getting shot, and all of a sudden I can build a display around him because of the base and the helmet. And that might sound kind of silly, but sometimes it's those little things for me that can open up a picture in my head, a vision, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that doesn't sound silly at all. It just kind of clicks for you, and you're thinking like of a diorama, a display. You're thinking about the bigger picture, and that might have been just the final piece or the catalyst that got you there. No, that's 100%.
Because maybe I wasn't creative enough in my own head until I saw what they had done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So sometimes
for me, I think. I don't pre-order as much as I used to anymore, to be honest. The Inart was something I did because I think we have to do that, and because you're going to pay. I think for pre-orders nowadays, it used to be a lot more sort of everyone did more pre-orders because the figures were a good price, and then when they came out, they were more expensive. And I think the problem is now is that you can still get a good price, even day one we were talking about with the Loki figure. So I don't pre-order anything anymore unless I really need it, like an Inart that I know if I miss it, like the Joker, you're going to pay a secondary market figure price. But for me, I think Star Wars is my number one thing. So if it's a Star Wars like I've got Bespin Luke, and he's a figure that I've wanted for years because it's my favorite Luke, it's my favorite look, it's my favorite scene, and everything like that, you know. And I got it last week, and I love it. I love it. It needs a bit more. You need to get a bit more dirt on him a little bit, you know, stuff like that. But he's a great figure. Where again, going back to what we were talking to, and people were saying it in the chat, the hype train is my problem. Is that I'll get on something after seeing a movie, and I'll be straight on Hot Toys going. I even looked at Spider-Verse figures this week because I saw it last week, and I loved it, absolutely loved it. And I was looking at them, and I was going, "Oh, that looks really good." And then I was thinking, "What am I doing? I'm not going to buy I'll buy it, and then I know I'll get it. I'll get it, and then I mean, most collectors know it's the chase. Is for me, the chase is the buzz as much as getting the figure in. Once you get the figure in, you're on to the next thing. That's me, if you know what I mean. That's the way I've always been. Is like, you know, what have I pre-ordered? Well, like say I pre-ordered the Batman, and I've bought something else, and I'm looking at that Mars Toys Nicholson Joker at the moment to go with when I get the Batman. So I'm on the case with that, looking for that, and I know as soon as I get that, I'll go, right, now what am I going to get? And I'm that sort of collector, you know. I'm one of those in the and don't get me wrong, it's not. I haven't got loads of money to spend. To be honest, I'm a collector that sells to buy. You know, I'll sell something to buy something. I'm not one of those that can have, you know, my collection. As we talked in the Visions, Shane, has rotated
Absolutely,
a lot in the last years, and that's the way I am. You know, I may have a little splurge now and again and go, oh, I'll get this and that, but 9 times out of 10, I'll have to sell to buy. But yeah, like someone said, the thrill of the chase is also his favourite. That's for me. I've always been like that, where it's just, you know. So with when you said about that, with a lot of, you know, the what we're talking about, that list, is that a lot of it is that, you know, if they drop tomorrow, RoboCop, for example, I've not pre-ordered that, but that would be something I'll get straight away. Where if Costa Reeves gets dropped tomorrow, if The Mandalorian was on at the moment, then I'd probably buy it straight away. But now it's not on, I'll have a little think and go, do I want this yet? That's me. And I mean, perhaps in the chat, a lot of people are the same, but I'm more of a, you know, in a way, in the moment sort of collector at the moment. If you know what I mean.
Dan, you remind me so many of us when asked, why do you collect? A lot of us answer, well, nostalgia. And then it's like, but that movie came out last week. You have nostalgia for that? You know? So but it's like, true, but that's why you have to be careful.
You know, iconic is... In order to be iconic, something has to have a good standard in the first place, but also stand the test of time.
Yes.
So something that came out on Tuesday is not iconic.
It's not iconic. And
it may be, but it's not yet.
Exactly.
Yeah. I sound like a bit of a gatekeeper there, but I stand by that.
No, you're keeping your own gate. That's what it's all about.
Exactly,
you know?
exactly. Or you say, what did you say? You said something interesting there. It's like putting guardrails on the collection. Yes. I like that. That's like, you know, it's like another way of saying stay in your lane.
Don't sell, isn't there? There's certain figures that I would never, you know, like, well, unless they 2.0 it. Obviously, that's the only time you'd sell it. But most of the main, like Star Wars, like, you know, original trilogy characters, I'll never get rid of. I just think nowadays it's one of those where perhaps when I first started collecting, there were figures that you'd never think they'd do again, if you know what I mean. And now a lot of people have been talking about this lately, of how much you can't buy things to make them a investment anymore. They're not investments. That perhaps a few years ago they could have been on that sort of spectrum of being that. But I think now, you know, you're the same, Shane, and Mike, I'm not sure about you, is that you are very careful what you buy.
Yes.
And I'm pretty good like that, unless I get caught up in a hype train.
Yes.
You know, and you know, and then it's in and out. But for me, I've been pretty steady in the last few years, just Star Wars and the odd thing. So it's just, everyone's different, and that's what's so good about collecting, is that everyone's got different collections, everyone's got different ideals of what they want to do and how they buy. And and I think the other thing as well, just quickly, is that we haven't got Sideshow here. Now, the thing is, with Sideshow, you've got payment plans. We've obviously got Sideshow, sorry. But what I mean is that because I live in the UK, we get hit with big import taxes. So it's not really worth ordering 9 times out of 10. And there are a few UK sellers that do this sort of thing. But I think with a lot of the guys in the States, I think a lot of pre-orders are quite common because you've got the payment plans quite readily.
Yes.
And, you know, shipping's pretty good, and you've got points and all that. Where I think over in the UK, and obviously Ireland may be the same, Shane, that we've got to be a bit more careful on what we pre-order and where we get it from, etc.
Yeah. So, like, is there any, like, in terms of, like, if you could narrow it down to, like, 2 or 3 points where you're, like things on your wait list now, like, you mentioned specifics when you were both going through your wish list, going, well, look, I'd really like the Jazz Ink, but to be honest, it's too expensive, it's too bloody big, you know. So that's one of the, you mentioned specifics, and I think Mike, you mentioned as well, the bone clause was a deal breaker on the Wolverine. I totally get that. That's why it's on the wish list and not on the pre-order list, but you still kind of like it. That's why it's on the wish list in the first place. If we didn't like it, it wouldn't be on the wish list. We wouldn't have this conversation. But is there any, like, general rules? Like, you give me specifics which are brilliant, and you logically broke down why things are on your wish list, and you haven't pre-ordered yet. But do you have any, like, general rules that you find work for you, and maybe people in the chat might work for them? Or if there's people in the chat who have general rules to help you decide, like, separate what looks cool from what you actually want, what you actually need, than what you actually want. Any general rules that you have? Or if you don't, you don't. But
I mean, what you always say, the triple threat, I think is an excellent rule. I can't always apply it.
Yeah, me neither.
You know, like, for example, I mean, you probably can't see, but it's like, you know, is this a triple threat to me? I mean, how could I honestly say that? Of course not. But I just think he looks fantastic. I wanted some troopers with pants or trousers. He may be wearing pants under here. I don't know, fellas, but with trousers. You know, so that's, like, silly, right? But I went through a phase where I wanted a bit of tailoring in my collection. That breaks every rule I've described earlier.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I get you, yeah.
It's tough.
And troopers are like that, though, because like, I'm a trooper collector, so they're like the exception to the rule. I treat them nearly like a line of almost, like, you know what I mean? I still won't collect them all because not all troopers look good, you know what I mean? Right. But
so Shane, I sent you a link of that Jaws thing in the private chat just so you can see it.
Cool. I'll definitely bring it up. I'll get you this, and I'll definitely bring that up, and I definitely want to take a look at it. So, was there anything else, like, you kind of general kind of rules or general things that you would do to decide separate what you want from what you need?
But me?
Anyone?
No, that's basically it. I try to have rules as best as I can. Every now and then, rules are made for breaking, but for the most part, I really try to be. Plus, I have a monthly budget that I try to give myself, and with Sideshow, with the pre-ordering, it is a lot easier to do that. I know if I add another figure and it's got a 5-month payment plan or a 3-month whatever, you know, I'll see if that kind of fits in and if I'm comfortable with that. So I try to, as far as the financial side of things, look at that as well.
No, that's fair enough. And Dan, anything?
Yeah, I think similar to that. I just want to. I just plan quite far ahead and just see. And I've been through so many different collections with my sort of my figures of, you know, where I want to create things and all that. But I'm at a good place at the moment with Star Wars and a bit of other things. So, you know, like if something does come out it's not, if something comes out, someone's just mentioned the Back to the Future figures are soon going to be coming out. I love the Western ones. They look amazing, but it wouldn't fit in my collection. And you've just got to think about financially how much you're dropping on that you might just sit there and go, wow, I've just wasted £500 on those. And I've been caught again I keep saying it, the hype train, if you know what I mean. So I've sort of been quite good to hold back a little bit sometimes and just go, wait. Star Wars is the hardest, like we were talking about, because it's our thing, isn't it? But for the other ones, I'm a bit more choosy nowadays.
And Dan, these things are so, Hot Toys is nothing if not unpredictable. Right?
Yeah, I know. And I do wish, Mike, that they would do that coming soon picture they do sometimes.
Yes.
They need to do that. I think, I mean, obviously, perhaps they can't do it with, release dates that may change, but, everyone knows where they stand for the next 3-4 months.
Do you remember what So Toys did when they had the blacked out silhouettes of all the upcoming figures? Just something like that, at least. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that would also build hype. It would build excitement. So, win for everyone.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. Really quickly, if you don't mind, I'm going to go through some things that I just put together. I'm going to start off. So what I have is just a few things that I go through. The first one is just if something is a triple threat or not. So, like, if something's on my wish list and I haven't pulled the trigger for it, but I am interested in it, I just ask myself a few simple questions, like, is it a triple threat? Just in case you haven't know, this is what Mike was talking about earlier on. I mentioned it the whole time as well. A perfect example would be if I love the character, love the source material, and love the version. So if you look at the DX19, right, or maybe the new Armory one, love the character, love the source material, love the version. Yeah, that's an easy pickup. The Mark III Iron Man that's coming out, love the character, love the source material, the original Iron Man movie, and love the version, just a chunky man in a suit. Absolutely. So that's what a triple threat is, and that's a lot of the time. The vast majority of the figures in my collection are triple threats, but like Mike, like there's sometimes exceptions, or you might break or bend the rules. Next one, now I'm really looking at this recently. This is like added another new level to my I suppose, what's the word, trying to be disciplined, I suppose. Will I like it in 10 years time? Although working backwards can be expensive and I wouldn't recommend it, I have worked backwards and made exceptions for certain figures. The Robocop in the chair, the Obi-Wan Kenobi Alec Guinness, the MS-238 Terminator 1 Police Shootout, the DX-13. No regrets. Thankfully, I was lucky enough to get pieces that were actually, when I got them, some of them were brand new, some of them were secondhand. They were actually in good shape. But I will like them to the day I die, because I watched RoboCop when I was a young kid and I loved it, and I still love it now. The Terminator movies are classics. If they bring out an updated Ellen Ripley that looks like, Sigourney Weaver, sign me up, take my money. I rule out entire lines. As much as I'm enjoying aspects of the Clone Wars, even if I love it, I'm like, no, I'm just going to have to rule out that. Some lines are easy to rule out, like for example the sequels, very easy for me to rule out because I thought they were absolute dumpster fire, no offense to anyone who likes them. Whereas the prequels, there's aspects of the prequels I love. The Duel of Fates, I think, is the best lightsaber battle we've ever seen. Darth Maul was a fantastic character. The pod racing scene was amazing. The aspects of a Revenge of the Sith was amazing. I'd love to have like a Vader that's just been put together, in the, I don't know, just at the end, maybe he's on the table and they're actually piecing him together for Revenge of the Sith. That'd be awesome, but I'm not going to do it because I just have to rule out and stay in my lane or put guardrails in my collection just like Mike does. It's just realistic, can't have everything. There's probably stuff out there from the OT I want more. Passing the things I like to collect the things I love. A lot of things look cool. Perfect example, Sam Wilson cap. That figure looks amazing. The head sculpt's on point. The colors will pop on the shelf. The articulated wings. There's nothing I don't like about it. But I didn't like the source material, and that's one I just gotta. If I get him, I'm taking space for a potential triple threat. The last two, then, if I can't display it, I don't buy it. Right? If I can't afford it, I don't buy it. So like putting things on let's say something $2,500 and putting things on a payment plan over a year or two, fair enough. You might be able to afford like 100, 200 a month, but typically if I can't afford it, I just don't buy it. And even the one before that, if I can't display it, I don't buy it. Like, I'm having an issue at the moment. Like, I've ordered the 1989 Batmobile. So, like, there's an option, and I know where to put it, but I'm still not entirely sure I want to put it in that place. I think it'll fit. I've measured, but I don't know, will it just look like it's put there, or if it's displayed there? There's a difference. Like, if something like the ideal display for that is the best one I've seen is either Joao Breda's one with his coffee table, which is glass, so it's functional, it's always there, and you can see it from all different angles. Or the likes of I think it's Graham from the Jedi Knights Watch has his on a Modu case, and it just has Batman.
Yeah, that looks good. I saw that yesterday.
It just looks pure
great.
class.
He's
Pure
got
class.
the DF Modu case from it. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, they're kind of the things that I would do to kind of I suppose trim the fat on my wish list. And it very quickly, when you ask those questions, it does whittle it down and realize, okay, maybe the clone pilot has to take a hike. Maybe you're not going to get the rooted hair Batman. Or maybe if you get it, you have to make a deal with yourself that you sell which one you don't like, or which one, the weaker one of the two, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's pretty much, I think, I see you have to go there, Dan. I just checked the private chat. We're pretty much done here, if that's all right with you. Is anything else you want to add or plug or anything?
No. Thanks for having me.
Good.
Yeah,
great,
no
man.
problem. And thanks for coming on. Just a shout out to, just really appreciate everyone in the chat. Massive shout out to all the troopers and commanders and the channel members. Massive thank you to anybody who has taken the time out of the day to watch the stream, like the stream, subscribe to the channel. It's, again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'll be a collector. I have been a collector long before the channel started. I will be a collector long before the channel, long after the channel ends, if that happens. I love taking photos. I love posing and doing display videos and editing and stuff like that. But the coolest thing is it's actually communicating with people all over the world who are into the same kind of passion and hobby. I think that's just a lot of fun, and meeting new people from all over the world. So massive thank you. Make sure you is it okay if I plug your Instagram, Mike? Or is
please, sure.
Cool? Yeah, we got a banner ready for you. I wasn't sure if I just want to check. So
Thanks.
make sure you follow @Thrawn's Office on Instagram. Fantastic username. And and then Dan in Carbon as well. You can also subscribe to Dan in Carbon on YouTube and follow Dan in Carbon on Instagram. So yeah, the last thing I'll leave you with is I'm talking to this man Mike L tomorrow on episode 42 of Visions. It's already scheduled, so you can check it out there, and that's pretty much done. So I think we're out. Cheers, guys.
Nice meeting you, Dan.
Later.
See you, folks.
Have me, Shane. Bye bye.
See you.